The hip-hop world is buzzing and 50 Cent isn't holding back. In a shocking revelation, he checks T.I., claiming that the veteran rapper sold out the culture for fame. This isn't just another celebrity feud or casual critique. This is 50 Cent exposing the raw truth behind decisions that shaped one of the biggest names in hip-hop. Fans are divided, streets are talking, and social media is on fire. According to insiders, 50 Cent believes T.I. made moves that prioritized personal fame over the growth and integrity of the culture itself. From strategic collaborations to media appearances and high-profile endorsements, every decision, in 50 Cent's eyes, carried consequences for the community that shaped the artists. This check from 50 Cent is more than criticism. It's a warning, a lesson, and a reflection on the tension between personal ambition and loyalty to hip-hop's roots. In this video, we'll break down the full story. What exactly 50 Cent said about T.I. and the culture, examples of moments that 50 Cent considers selling out fan reactions and street commentary that are dividing the community, the potential impact on T.I.'s legacy, and 50 Cent's credibility. Get ready for an explosive deep dive into hip-hop politics, fame, and authenticity. From shocking exposés to street reactions, this story is not just about the rappers, but it's about the culture, the legacy, and the lessons every artist should heed. Hip-hop has always been a space of passion, competition, and controversy, but few moments capture the tension between fame, loyalty, and culture as vividly as the latest check from 50 Cent to T.I. For decades, T.I. has been regarded as one of the pillars of Southern hip-hop, earning respect as a talented lyricist and cultural influencer. However, according to 50 Cent, fame and personal ambition sometimes came at the expense of the culture itself. The tension between the two rappers is not entirely new. Both men have massive influence in the industry, and both are known for their straightforward, no-holds-barred approaches. 50 Cent, often vocal about loyalty, respect, and authenticity, has a long history of calling out actions he believes undermine hip-hop's essence. T.I., on the other hand, has made strategic moves throughout his career, from mainstream collaborations to high-profile business ventures that have occasionally attracted criticism from peers who value street credibility over commercial success. Insiders suggest that the build-up to this check began quietly. Over the years, 50 Cent reportedly observed decisions and choices that he considered contradictory to hip-hop's values. These included moments where commercial appeal seemed to overshadow community integrity, and where media appearances or corporate deals may have unintentionally shifted the focus from the culture to individual gain. While some observers argue these moves are natural for an evolving career, 50 Cent frames them as part of a larger pattern of selling out. The streets, fans, and industry insiders all noticed subtle hints of tension over the years. Cryptic social media posts, indirect remarks during interviews, and strategic collaborations all became talking points, hinting at an underlying conflict. Observers began to speculate. Would 50 Cent eventually speak out publicly? And if he did, how would T.I. respond? What makes this confrontation significant is not just the reputations of the two rappers, but the symbolic weight of the conversation. Hip-hop, especially in its formative years, has always balanced between street authenticity and mainstream success. Artists like T.I., who successfully navigate both arenas, often face scrutiny from peers who prioritize culture over commercial achievement. 50 Cent's public check is a manifestation of this tension, highlighting the delicate balance between maintaining authenticity and pursuing fame. Sources close to the situation report that 50 Cent's decision to go public with his criticism was intentional and strategic. It wasn't merely about dissing T.I., it was about sending a message to the broader hip-hop community. The check serves as a warning to other artists. Fame is valuable, but selling out the culture comes with consequences, both in terms of street credibility and lasting legacy. Fans quickly picked up on the intensity of 50 Cent's statements. Social media erupted with debates, memes, and reactions that ranged from praise for 50 Cent's honesty to criticism for publicly confronting a fellow legend. Street commentators and insiders provided analysis on the implications for both artists' careers, debating whether T.I. would respond directly, ignore the check, or navigate the fallout quietly behind the scenes. This is more than just a celebrity spat. It's a reflection on the principles that define hip-hop. For decades, artists have walked the line between artistic integrity and commercial success. 50 Cent's check brings this dynamic to the forefront, forcing fans and industry players to examine what it truly means to honor the culture while pursuing fame. The tension also carries personal and professional ramifications. For T.I., how he responds, publicly or privately, could influence future collaborations, sponsorships, and public perception. For 50 Cent, issuing this check reinforces his reputation as a streetwise veteran, unafraid to call out what he perceives as missteps. But it also carries the risk of stirring further conflict with a fellow legend. Concludes, it's clear that 50 Cent's check is not just a momentary headline. It's part of a larger conversation about culture, legacy, and the choices artists make in the spotlight. The build-up, the subtle tensions, and the observations that led to this point set the stage for a dramatic and highly engaging narrative. We'll dive into 50 Cent's exact statements, the public reaction, fan debates, and how this check is already shaping conversations in hip-hop culture and beyond. When 50 Cent finally made his move, the hip-hop world felt the impact instantly. Unlike subtle jabs or behind-the-scenes warnings, this was a full-blown public check aimed directly at T.I., and the streets, fans, and media immediately took notice. According to sources, 50 Cent's statements were sharp, uncompromising, and delivered with the precision of someone who understands both street credibility and media influence. He called out T.I. for decisions that, in his eyes, prioritized fame and mainstream success over the culture that shaped both men. This check wasn't just about a single incident. It was about patterns, choices, and moments where personal gain overshadowed the collective values of hip-hop. Fans across the globe reacted instantly. Social media exploded with thousands of posts, tweets, and comments analyzing 50 Cent's words. Some applauded him for speaking the truth, praising his courage to publicly hold a fellow legend accountable. Hashtags like Thars 50 Cent checks T.I., Our Culture Over Fame, and Hip Hop Truth trended within hours, reflecting the intensity of the conversation. Others criticized the approach, arguing that airing grievances publicly could escalate unnecessary tension and harm both artists' reputations. Reaction videos flooded YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Fans dissected every word, body language, and subtle implication, often debating whether T.I. would respond or stay silent. Influencers and street commentators joined the conversation, offering perspectives that range from street-level analysis to insider knowledge of the music industry. Some praised 50 Cent for defending the culture, while others suggested that public checks might blur the line between accountability and unnecessary drama. The check also sparked debates about the broader state of hip-hop. Many fans reflected on how the industry has evolved, questioning whether mainstream success inherently conflicts with cultural authenticity. 50 Cent's words reignited discussions about respect, loyalty, and the responsibilities of artists to their communities. It was a reminder that fame and fortune are not free from scrutiny, especially when perceived as compromising core values. Street sources reported that the check had immediate ripple effects. Local DJs, club promoters, and hip-hop radio hosts began referencing the situation on air, often framing 50 Cent's statements as both a warning and a lesson. Some suggested that young artists could learn from the confrontation, understanding the consequences of prioritizing commercial success over authenticity. Others debated whether T.I. had actually sold out or simply evolved as a mainstream artist, highlighting the subjective nature of such accusations. Cent's delivery also played a role in amplifying the message. He used both social media and interviews strategically, ensuring that the narrative reached every corner of the hip-hop community. This dual approach, combining street credibility with media visibility, maximized engagement and guaranteed that the story remained in public discourse for days. Every post, clip, and comment became part of the unfolding drama. Fans were divided in their interpretations. Some viewed T.I.'s mainstream success as a betrayal of hip-hop roots, while others saw 50 Cent's public check as an unnecessary attack on a legend who has already cemented his legacy. The debate expanded beyond individual reputations, becoming a larger conversation about what it means to stay true in an industry that constantly demands evolution and compromise. Meanwhile, T.I. stayed mostly silent publicly, opting to let his work and presence speak for itself. This silence added fuel to the discussion, prompting speculation about his next move. Will he address the check directly, continue to focus on mainstream success, or leverage behind-the-scenes connections to manage the narrative? The uncertainty kept fans engaged and analysts busy, dissecting every potential scenario. The cultural implications of 50 Cent's check are significant. Hip-hop thrives on reputation, respect, and authenticity, and public checks like this one force reflection not just on individual artists, but on the community as a whole. For young artists, it's a lesson in balancing ambition with integrity. For fans, it's a reminder that the choices of established artists influence the culture at large. Media outlets also jumped in, framing the check as one of the most explosive moments in recent hip-hop history. Coverage ranged from detailed breakdowns of the statements to opinion pieces on the ethics of public criticism in the industry. Headlines emphasized the clash between fame and culture, further amplifying the conversation and keeping the story in trending sections across platforms. Financially, the check had consequences as well. Streaming numbers, social media engagement, and media coverage spiked for both artists. Publicity, even controversial, can translate into revenue, sponsorship attention, and higher visibility. But with this visibility comes increased scrutiny, meaning every subsequent move by 50 Cent or T.I. would be analyzed for intent and potential impact, comes to a close. It's clear that this check is more than just words. It's a cultural statement. 50 Cent has reignited discussions about loyalty, integrity, and the responsibilities of artists, forcing both peers and fans to re-examine the delicate balance between fame and staying true to the culture. We'll dive into industry reactions, behind-the-scenes strategies, and the ripple effects of 50 Cent's check on T.I.'s legacy and the broader hip-hop community. The impact of 50 Cent's check on T.I. extended far beyond social media chatter. It reverberated throughout the music industry, street circles, and the hip-hop community at large. Insiders and analysts alike were quick to dissect the confrontation, evaluating its significance in terms of legacy, credibility, and influence. Industry veterans emphasize that public checks, when executed strategically, can serve as both warnings and lessons. 50 Cent, known for his acute understanding of street dynamics and media manipulation, didn't simply aim to embarrass T.I. Instead, his statements were intended to spark reflection on the broader responsibilities of artists who hold cultural influence. By framing the discussion around selling out the culture, 50 Cent highlighted a tension that has persisted in hip-hop for decades, balancing personal ambition with loyalty to the art form. Record labels, managers, and collaborators were also observing closely. Some industry insiders praised 50 Cent's approach, noting that his check reinforced the idea that credibility cannot be bought or faked. Others, however, warned that public criticism of a fellow heavyweight could complicate collaborations, partnerships, and networking opportunities, especially in a genre where alliances often determine career longevity. Street credibility became a central theme in the discussion. For many in the hip-hop community, authenticity and respect are non-negotiable, and 50 Cent's comments resonated strongly with those who view T.I. as mainstream ventures as evidence of compromise. Yet some argue that the industry's evolution naturally requires artists to expand into broader markets, collaborate with corporate entities, and navigate mainstream media without being accused of selling out. This divide between purists and pragmatists further fueled the debate. Social media continued to play a crucial role. TikTok breakdowns, Instagram threads, and YouTube reaction videos dissected every word 50 Cent said. Fans and influencers debated whether T.I. would respond publicly or handle matters quietly, while others weighed in on the broader implications for the culture. Comments ranged from admiration for 50 Cent's honesty to concerns about escalating drama and potential reputational harm. Behind the scenes, close associates of T.I. reportedly began strategizing potential responses. While some suggested a public clarification or rebuttal, others advised measured silence to preserve his legacy. This balancing act highlights the complex interplay between public perception, strategic image management, and the ongoing expectation that hip-hop artists maintain a connection to the streets. From a business perspective, 50 Cent's check inadvertently created opportunities. Controversy drives engagement, and discussions about culture versus fame led to increased streaming numbers, social media activity, and media attention for both artists. While this type of exposure can be profitable, it also comes with heightened scrutiny, making every subsequent move subject to analysis and interpretation. The long-term implications are significant. For T.I., this check forces a reevaluation of public perception and credibility. The question isn't merely whether he sold out, but how his choices impact his influence, alliances, and legacy. For 50 Cent, the move reinforces his image as a veteran unafraid to call out perceived missteps, cementing his reputation as a cultural watchdog who values authenticity over commercial gain. Cultural commentators highlighted the broader lessons for the hip-hop community. Young artists were encouraged to consider the consequences of decisions that prioritize short-term fame over lasting influence. The discussion emphasized that true respect in the industry is earned, not just through talent, but through consistent alignment with the values and roots of hip-hop culture. The ripple effects extended beyond the music world. Podcasts, radio shows, and media outlets devoted extensive coverage to the confrontation, dissecting its meaning for hip-hop, celebrity culture, and the expectations placed on influential artists. Panel discussions explored topics like loyalty, legacy, and the tension between mainstream appeal and cultural authenticity, framing the conversation in ways that educated and engaged fans simultaneously. Even international audiences became part of the conversation, demonstrating how hip-hop's cultural impact transcends borders. Fans in Europe, Asia, and Africa engaged in heated debates, showing that the discussion about selling out versus staying true resonates globally, especially when figures as prominent as T.I. and 50 Cent are involved. Ultimately, this confrontation underscores a key truth in modern hip-hop. Credibility is currency. Fans, streets, and the industry all monitor actions, words, and collaborations, often assigning value based on perceived authenticity. 50 Cent's public check is more than a personal critique. It's a reflection of the ongoing dialogue about what it means to represent the culture responsibly while navigating fame. Concludes, it's clear that the stakes go beyond T.I. and 50 Cent. The check is shaping perceptions, influencing future collaborations, and setting a precedent for how hip-hop artists navigate fame, respect, and legacy. The discussion remains open-ended, leaving fans and insiders anticipating the next chapter in this unfolding drama. We'll cover the potential resolutions, the long-term consequences for both artists, and the lessons the hip-hop community can take from this explosive confrontation, along with a strong CTA to engage fans. The aftermath of 50 Cent checking T.I. has been nothing short of explosive. The conversation shifted from a personal critique to a cultural debate, with fans, street commentators, and industry insiders dissecting every statement. The confrontation exposed the delicate balance artists must maintain between personal ambition, public perception, and cultural authenticity. T.I.'s response, or lack thereof, has become a major talking point. Choosing silence publicly has allowed him to maintain his dignity while avoiding an all-out feud that could damage his reputation. Sources close to T.I. suggest he is taking a strategic approach, assessing the impact of 50 Cent's statements, planning his next moves carefully, and relying on his established credibility and influence to weather the storm. In hip-hop, how you respond can be as significant as the original confrontation, and T.I. seems to understand the long-term stakes. Meanwhile, 50 Cent's reputation as a cultural watchdog has been solidified. By speaking out publicly, he not only addressed perceived missteps, but also sent a broader message to the industry. Fame should never come at the expense of authenticity. Artists watching the drama unfold are reminded that credibility, respect, and loyalty are as important as chart success and mainstream recognition. The streets and fans remain divided. Many applaud 50 Cent for holding a legendary peer accountable, arguing that he is defending the culture and preserving the values that shaped hip-hop. Others question whether airing grievances publicly could set a precedent for unnecessary drama, potentially undermining unity among artists. Social media continues to explode with reaction videos, memes, and heated debates, illustrating the ongoing impact of the check. Industry analysts emphasize the long-term lessons. For rising artists, the story is a blueprint. Every decision, collaboration, and endorsement carries consequences for reputation and cultural credibility. For established artists, it's a reminder that legacy is built not only through talent and business acumen, but through consistent alignment with the values and roots of the culture. The controversy has also highlighted the power of strategic communication. 50 Cent's approach combined street credibility, media savvy, and precise messaging, ensuring that the story dominated conversations without causing irreparable harm. It demonstrates the importance of timing, framing, and audience understanding in shaping narratives within the music industry. Financially, the check has had ripple effects. Streaming numbers, social media engagement, and media coverage spiked, creating opportunities for both artists despite the tension. However, this increased visibility also subjects every move to scrutiny, meaning future releases, collaborations, and public appearances will be interpreted through the lens of this confrontation. In the long term, this check will likely influence how hip-hop artists navigate fame, loyalty, and cultural responsibility. It's not just a story about two artists. It's a reflection on an entire ecosystem where respect, authenticity, and strategic thinking are paramount. 50 Cent's message serves as both a warning and a guidepost for the community. reinforcing that every choice impacts both personal legacy and the broader culture. Fans and commentators agree that the conversation is far from over. Even without a public response from T.I., speculation continues. Will he address the check in an upcoming interview, respond through music, or focus on reinforcing his legacy quietly? The uncertainty keeps the audience engaged, ensuring that this story remains relevant and discussion-worthy for weeks to come. Ultimately, the saga of 50 Cent checking T.I. is a reminder that hip-hop is as much about culture as it is about fame. Public statements, strategic checks, and the choices artists make reverberate far beyond social media posts. They shape perceptions, influence emerging talent, and define legacies. The streets have spoken, but now it's your turn. What do you think about 50 Cent checking T.I.? Was his critique justified, or should he have handled it privately? Drop your thoughts in the comments and join the conversation. We want to hear every perspective on this explosive hip-hop drama. If you've been following this story from the beginning, hit the like button and subscribe for the latest updates on celebrity feuds, industry insights, and viral hip-hop news. Turn on notifications to stay ahead of every shocking revelation, reaction, and insider scoop. The culture moves fast, and you don't want to miss a single moment. Share this video with your friends, street circles, and social media communities to keep the discussion alive. Every like, comment, and share helps us deliver more in-depth analysis, behind-the-scenes insights, and exclusive commentary on the hottest stories in hip-hop. Stay tuned for follow-ups, responses, and behind-the-scenes developments as we continue tracking 50 Cent, T.I., and the ripple effects of this confrontation. With your support, we bring you every viral moment, street reaction, and industry perspective directly. The story is far from over, and the culture is watching closely.